Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter, who is our resident financial expert. So today is Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, and we try to at least do this every other week, as Walter is very busy, but he spends about an hour sometimes or three with us. And we, go over ways to become a wealthier, right? Or healthier. So today we're going to talk about steps to getting healthy and wealthy, even in times of uncertainty. But I like to say also that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, because we are great, but we can be even better. Also, say like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. I don't know if I'll share the link today, but if I do, and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And then if you're not comfortable, you can go back to that. Just know that no one else can see you until I bring you up to the big screen, not even Walter. Also in the comment section, is not that we disagree, it is how we disagree. So let's be as respectful as possible. I should also say, I know sometimes when we get to talking about being wealthy and healthy, some people, it's like throwing water on a witch. It's like, ah! So if that's not your thing today, then please come back when it is your thing, because there are some people who really want to learn how to be better financially and healthy. I should also say that Walter nor I are licensed or anything like that, but we both have some financial experiences as we've worked in the financial field. Walter longer than I, probably at this point 30 years plus. He's worked with a whole host of people in regards to finances and just figuring out how to make money. Walter himself is an entrepreneur. One thing you could do is drop this man off in the middle of a desert with no water or nothing, and he gonna come out selling water to everybody. So, we can learn a lot from him. Oh, I guess I should bring myself back in. So who's on here before I give it? I get into it and give it to Walter. Gary Mack, how you doing? You said you're north of me. I should have moved to the Dallas Fort Worth. It's cooler up here. Yeah, it's about 80 degrees here. It's still not too bad. It's gonna go up and down, but yeah, as long as it doesn't get too hot. Hey, Thunder, how you doing? Hope you're doing well, brother Troy. What's going on with you? Oh, Gary says, "Make me rich." Mike, nice. How you doing? Hope you're well. Sunlight, was going on? CJ, and that's no, that's all we have on here so far. So again, we're going to be talking about some steps to making us better as far as being healthier and wealthier. Walter, how you doing today? I know we came on just a tiny bit late because Walter was busy. So how you doing?
Oh, there it is. No, I was doing good. I changed my Facebook password and I couldn't remember what it was. So that took me a few minutes. And I got new phones, cracked both my phones, got brand new ones. Only problem with that is you got to download everything and this craziness. But that's what insurance is for. So if your phone dies, you get another one.
Absolutely.
You got insurance, your kid's not on the pole. Well, they might still be on the pole, but at least they'll be on the pole as an option.
You know what? EJ says Mr. Walter probably was that little kid who could sell candy or something to his classmates, K through 12, and was. Hey, Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. S. Edgy, what's going on with you? All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna be here. Unmute Walter's mic. Be here for about an hour. Your girl is tired. Okay, today is the day that I do all of my videos, 15 to be exact. So sometimes my mind is like, I just want to lay down, but I'm gonna tough it out because that's what I do. So, all right. Anyway, of course, you guys know there's a lot going on, and not even just the United States, but the world, right? And there's all these uncertainties about money. We're hearing about the stock market is doing wonky things. We hear about inflation. I don't know if they dropped it today. I know the Federal Reserve is supposed to be dropping the federal rate. I don't know if they decided to do that. So inflation is still kind of high. And if you like eggs, depending on where you're buying eggs, I mean, I was at the store not too long ago and I saw a carton of eggs for $12. I was like, huh? Okay. But I don't really eat eggs like that. So point that I'm making is everything is kind of uncertain. So oftentimes you hear a lot of people say, I don't know how I can, make money. I don't know what to do. I'm already kind of stretched from here and there. And then of course, when there's a lot of stress, oftentimes comes a lot of health issues, because a lot of times people don't talk about when you're under stress, your body does a lot of things to react or try to deal with the stress, whether you end up getting a disease, as my dad always broke it down. And of course, he's Nation of Islam. I'm sure he got it from Nation of Islam. Disease, if you break it down, is dis-ease, right? And so that stress has to come out some way. And a lot of times it is a disease, or you might go bald, or, something, I don't know. So we're going to go through steps to figure out how to overcome these uncertainties and figure out how to make a little money in the process and come out a little bit on the healthier side. I'm glad, Sunlight, that y'all want to hear about it. So, Walter, I got some strategies down. So what I want to do, I'm going to go one by one, and I want you to address it, if that's okay. I know you probably got a lot of other things too. You add that in as well. All right. So first, we're going to deal with wealth. And I hope you guys are taking notes, because Walter's he's going to give us the game as much as he can. Now, the first thing that I think you can tell me if I'm wrong, people should do as far as building wealth is figure out how to spend less than you earn. So basically cut unnecessary expenses and live below your means. And also redirecting those savings into investments or into an emergency fund to stay financially secure. So, what do you say about that?
Okay, you keep muting my mic. So, well, okay, that was. I'm sorry, question. It seemed a little vague. So you're saying,
okay? So I'll break it down a little bit more. I was trying to jump ahead, but I understand. So basically, the first step is spend less than you earn, cut unnecessary expenses, and live below your means.
Well, I mean, I would say, let me take this off. I got Bloomberg in my ear. So I mean, people say that spend less than you earn, but people, I think there's got to be another approach to that, because that's obvious. But people, they have emotional baggage to stuff, so they'll be struggling on the rent, but they'll go out and buy a pair of Nikes that were $140. It's mental. It's not even a financial issue. It's just mental. It's an addiction. People, when they buy stuff, it makes them feel good. So what you could do, and what I did, is I turned that wanting to own stuff into buying things that make sense. Like real estate, or, right now I'm doing the stock option thing again. So I've been up since 2 a.m. California time. I apologize. There's so much money on the internet. It's just mind blowing. So I haven't been to sleep, but it's changing what you want. Like for me, what I'm thinking is, what would be really cool is if me and my kids hang out all day and not have to worry about who's getting the bill, or if we got to leave and everyone go to work tonight. For me, the things that I want now are just time, hanging out with people that I care about, like not waking up early and getting out of the bed, when I got curves next to me. I'd like to maybe be a little later. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is some of the stuff I want. So I think, what would it do? How would I create that? And do I want that more than wanting stuff? I can tell you right now, the pants I have on today is Wednesday. I've worn these pants every single day. They are gray. They don't get dirty. You can't even tell if they're dirty. Man, listen, I'll tell you, I'll break it down. I got on these shoes that I wear every day. That on these pants from Zara. I got on this $8 t-shirt from Target and this $29 Zara jacket. That's it. Well, sometimes I'm wearing drawers. Just depending on in a hurry I am. I'm like, I just saved $10 on my outfit. So, and what I did, I'm not going to show you my closet, is I got rid of all my clothes, everything. My closet is this big. I got some t-shirts, a couple of these, some gray pants, some green ones, like Medea, what was that, the lady, Shirley Pepsi Riley? The purple one, just like it. I got a gray one just like it, and a black one just like it. And so I threw away everything. I got one black suit and some white shirts and a bunch of ties I couldn't depart with. That's it. It's the only thing in my closet. So if you see me, I'm going to be wearing this. And I told my girl, I said, does it bother you? And I'm using my girl lightly at the moment because women be tripping. But does it bother you that I wear almost the same thing every day? She goes, no, I don't care. She goes, what I do like is we get to do stuff. She needs to be to work at 8. So sometimes she don't get to work until 9:30. I'm like, the mornings are the best time for intimacy. It's the best time to get up and go outside. I'm serious. Listen, I'm not trying to be nasty. And that's the problem with us too. Sometimes we just got to keep it real,
I think
right?
you went past the I'm not trying to be nasty when you say you don't wear drawers sometimes, okay?
No, I'm just being funny. Sometimes I'll be like, do I have time? No, I'm just kidding. I have a couple of those. But you have to, so what I'm saying is you have to think, what are the things that you really want? Like for me, and this is an adult show and I'm going to keep it PG. For me, what I want, and even when I was growing up, what I wanted was the attention of a woman. That's a lot of stuff, fellas, we do some dumb stuff because if you take women out of it, we don't care about our car. We do, but not like that. You know, the suit I wear, I have a black and white suit. It's not black and white. That's some Steve Harvey stuff. But I have a black suit with white shirt and I have a bunch of ties. And so the longest thing it takes me to do is pick a tie. But I am not worried about what other people say. What I'm more concerned about is what I'm getting from this life. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's love and affection, but I like to have control over it and then go about my day. That's it. And a lot of people, think about the if your relationship was stronger, how much more money would you have? Because I hear people say, "Oh, me and my husband keep a separate checking account. We don't have our finances together." That is just you don't have a future. If you and your husband don't know what each other's working with financially, then you're not a couple.
Well, so let's go back just a little bit because yeah.
I'm gonna shut my fridge.
No worries. Okay, so I'm gonna mute. Oh, there you go. I'm just reiterate a little bit. So the question was to spend less than you earn, cut unnecessary expenses, and live below your means. And I kind of think that's I'll mute you, Walter. I think that's self-explanatory. Walter was going there, but it's a needs versus a wants versus a need type of thing. My dad often says people buy what they want and beg for what they need, right? So yeah, going out, as Walter said, buying all the clothes and the stuff that you want, but then a lot of times when it comes to the stuff that you need, it's like, oh, I ain't got it, and then that's when some people get that uncomfortable a phone call. Hey, you think you can loan me some money because I'm short on my rent or my car payment? But it's like I saw you all up on Facebook. And you was at all the parties with the bells and the whistles, the chips and the dips, and you was looking fly, might I add, right? From head to toe. And here you come calling me talking about, oh, I'm short on my rent. It's like, did you know that when you went out and spent a bag going out? And listen, I live in Houston. I don't go out. I told y'all the last couple of times that I did when my daughter, my oldest daughter, Big Brittany is what we call her. She was here. Went out to 2 Black-owned restaurants. That's a whole different conversation, okay? But nevertheless, went to 2 Black-owned restaurants, and the bill was at $100 on average for both times. I'm like,
oh wow,
yeah, but what did we get? I'm doing Black-owned, but of course they tack on the 15% tip, automatically gratuity or whatever the case is. But it's like, so I know it's not cheap to go out, but then we start doing those things, especially in this time, and guess what? Those clubs and all the stuff that's going on, they're raising their prices too because inflation. I'm gonna mute your Mike Walters little noisy background because inflation hits them as well, right? So then they pass the cost on to the consumer. So those are the things we have to think about when we're out there. Like, okay, do I need to be out every weekend? Because if you think about it, if you're one of those people that go out every weekend, just go to your bank account or whatever it is off the top of your head. How much did I spend last weekend? Okay, I probably got me an outfit with the shoes. And if you're a woman, a purse, maybe you got your hair done, you went and got your nails done, maybe you got a facial. I don't know what you do. And then you have to pay an admittance to get into the club. And then you was popping bottles and buying, drinks and stuff. How much did that cost you? Now do that times 4. Could you have paid?
Right. Yeah, and that's the issue. So what you really like, look at it like this. Imagine seeing your family, the person you love the most, your kids and your family, imagine seeing them happy. And then imagine taking some of that whenever you get paid and taking that money and putting it toward that versus having like the people that own Nike are doing fantastic. They're executives, man. Like when I'm at the beach, I just see people, man, there's no stress on their face. And I know those people made some hard decisions in the beginning, some real hard ones. So you have to go, is it like this stuff that I need? First of all, who around me needs to see me in this shit? Because me, I'll tell you, like I have these green pants I wore, and my buddy that I buy cars with goes, damn, dude, how many days you gonna wear those green pants? Do you see me in those green pants? The Zara pants I got from Europe. Actually, they were a gift. Man, I wore those pants probably 200 days last year.
And how many times did you wash them?
I have my washing machine stays in rotation. My point being, I mean, the cool thing with dark pants is you can wear them 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? Unless you ain't wearing no drawers, and you need to wash them more often. So, but those are the things. If you just take that stuff out, you have free time. If you need to get dressed and you need to be flossing for somebody, then you ain't shit and they ain't shit. And that's how I look at it. Like I cut like
you ain't ish and they ain't ish.
You ain't ish, they ain't ish. Whatever, however you want to say it. Because at the end of the day, they do 0 for you. You know what's more attractive is having like money sitting to the side and knowing that if something comes up, that's going to be important to me. Like and then a lot of it is relationship stuff or people that you want to be around. Like my boys, they don't care what I have on. And I can only date one woman at a time and get away with it. So if I'm dating somebody that's forcing me to have these things or dress a certain way, I got to spend money on this, and I just don't do it. I tell you, I'd rather be alone with some TikTok and some baby oil than be blowing my money to impress somebody. I'm serious.
All right, let me get back in these comments.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about coconut oil.
Walter's like Jeffrey Holder on Boomerang.
Yeah. P. Diddy ruined the baby oil, man. You can't even use baby oil on your skin no more without feeling horrible.
Right. Let me jump into these comments. Al, how you doing? Yeah, that's pretty good. He says, my grandpa told the family after graduating college, your goals don't mean anything if your habits stay the same. Absolutely. You can set financial goals or whatever, but they don't mean anything if you blow past them. You continue to spend, outside of that. And Thunder says, Walter, them pants and shirt have a side A and B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, all the way to doggone Z.
Well, I don't wear the same shirt. I'm just saying I throw on the same pants. And depending on my nights, I wake up and I just go. Now I shower every day, but sometimes I have to shower at 3 o'clock, at 10 o'clock at night. It just depends. I let the money control my life. And what I mean by that is I let the need of stacking money for my family and its future control my day. So I don't have room. Like I have a Louis Vuitton belt, tie, and scarf. Do you know how many times I've worn that belt? 0.
Give it to me.
No, well, I mean, it's sitting there. I walk in my closet and I see the orange, the Hermes belt, and the 3 Louis things, and the Prada box. I bought some of that stuff almost a decade ago. I don't even use it. But that was the point where I was like, I gotta have this. And it's nice to walk into a Louis store, but it's like, really? Like, it's not doing anything for me. So now where I'm at, it's just comfortable getting up, getting the money, and not having to shop. I don't go to malls and get excited. Because
another thing too is a lot of wealthy people, and I like to bring up Steve Jobs, even though some people said he was a jerk. But Steve Jobs, he kept it simple: turtleneck, jeans. And at one point in time, he was one of the wealthiest men in the world, obviously founder of Apple, right? So that's another good way, especially with your wardrobe. Do you need 13 pair of black shoes? I tend to like to say I'm a minimalist. I need to tighten up, and I always say that. And as a minimalist, you always say, oh, I could tighten up a little bit. Let me get rid of this, or I don't need that. Like, I'm not one to go shopping for clothes all the time. I've just never been that way. I don't need to go buy something every time I go somewhere. But to your point, when you just keep your wardrobe simple, it does save you time. Y'all notice if y'all come on here and y'all could go back, even a couple of months, y'all see me wear, pretty much some of the same stuff, because I don't want to have to be stressing about, wearing something new and snazzy that nobody's ever seen before, because it does cost money to do that. And at the end of the day, it's a shirt. If it's clean, you look presentable, it's a shirt. Now,
And
just real quick, I'm also one
yeah,
of those people who believe, yeah, sometimes you can buy a high end item, and every once in a while. Like, I like to spend a little money on. Oh, let me mute you. Little money on coats, shoes, because you don't want your feet to be toe up wearing cheap shoes, because you'll learn your lesson when your feet start to hurt real bad. So, but it's not a lot of money. But other than that, I don't really go out and just be buying a whole bunch of stuff. So go ahead and finish your point, and then I'll get to the next point.
That you can rock with. I know a lot of people caught up in how long I'm wearing my pants, and I mean, let's not be silly. I'm not wearing them to the point where they crusted. I don't get stuck in clothes. I promise you, I have enough money to buy anything that I want in the clothing store. But it makes me feel good to go, I'm wearing something basic so I could get to the job. And especially like as a woman, I get it, women, you need to impress each other, but you need to cut that out. If you're cute and you got your stuff together, men don't care about all that stuff. We don't care about your eyebrows. Your eyebrows, we think that's silly. The long nails, we think that's silly. The Botox, the Betox, the Utox, we think that stuff is all silly. Man, I jumped on a girl in the past. She's like, well, I gotta get my nails done. I said, for what? Why don't you just grow your nails? I said, your nails look good to me. Well, they're thin. I said, they're thin. Could you keep brushing them down and put the fake ones on? Why don't you let your nails grow? I said, you have pretty hair. Why don't you stop dyeing it? Just straighten your hair and like grow your nails. That'll save you hundreds of dollars a month. Doing your hair, nails, your hands and your toes, the silly eyebrows, the Botox injections, all the $400 creams and all the things you do, and you still take everything off and you look the same. Why don't you work on your figure? You know what I'm saying? So you can go into a department store, like a 20, well, Forever 21's gone, but a Zara or one of these cute department stores. Man, I dated a girl that would go into TJ Maxx and come out looking fly. A pair of black heels, walk into TJ Maxx and be like, let's roll. And then, I'm talking about, I ain't gonna say her name here because she in the past, but like, that's it. That is all you need. Women, y'all could save money. Like women, if you could save an extra if you realize if you save $300 a month and you did that, if you were 40 and you did that to your 70, put it in the market, leave it alone, keep adding to it, you'd be a millionaire. Just from your weave, your hair, your nails, the lipstick, the Botox, the Utox, the creams you put on your face, and get off social media with that shit stuff. No one cares that you eating out at the Crab Shack or at Papa Do. People don't care about that. They care about their own meals. Like the need to have other people say, oh, that's cute, is a disease. That is a disease. And you know who doesn't have that? It's successful people. Like you said, Mark Zuckerberg used to wear a hoodie. Now he's in suits because he's like, in trouble all the time. But like Steve Jobs and a lot of these cats, Larry Ellison from Oracle, if you Google this dude, he's not rocking, he don't have no designer stuff on. Bill Gates looked like the poorest dude in the room. You know what I'm saying? Some of his clothes be too big. I wonder if he's even concerned about his outfit. So if you can just brush that stuff off, you will have all the money you need to save for your future. And then if you have something, like right now, I'm on telling people to get rid of their car payments. Man, it broke my heart to give up my Range Rover, my S5. They were so sexy. Starting up, I went through all that stuff. But then I was like, you know what? I don't miss the payments, the gas, the maintenance, and all that stuff. I'm driving around in a convertible Mini Cooper I paid $2,000 for. 2014 with the Tiptronic, the S version top down, $2,000. And I get more compliments on this little convertible than I did driving my Range Rover. Not that I'm driving this car for attention, but I'm just saying it's just basic. If you can't meet me and date me because I'm driving a little Mini Cooper convertible and I'm wearing a Zara jacket and some pants, then you can step to the left. And a real boss would feel that way. All that flossy stuff. You telling me as a man, you got 12 pair of Nikes You got 18 pair of shoes and you're not rich? A woman, you have 30 pair of shoes and you don't own a business, or you don't have a franchise or something that you're working on? You own 70 pair of shoes, but you don't own no property? That's insane. Like, there should be somebody that rolled through the hood with one of those wooden spoons and just pat every time they come by, you still got all those shoes. Like, get rid of that stuff. Sell everything. I'm telling you, when I had the girl in my life get rid of her car, I could see the stress leave her face. $800 a month plus insurance, $1,000 a month. I could see the stress leave her face. Gone. Just like that. And so then it goes, okay, now, and a lot of you women, and I'm just going to say this, and I apologize, but it's how I really feel. So I'm just going to I'm not going to be mean, but if you drop the weight, everything gets cheaper. You eat less. Yeah, I mean, clothes for smaller people are cheaper. I mean, you do a lot when you're smaller. I'm not saying you have to be skinny, because that's not ideal for most of us. But man, if some of y'all lost 20 and 30 pounds, you would feel better. Your energy would be higher. You would work more. Like, you don't need to eat 3 times a day. I know you don't have to do what I did, but you can go 20, 30 days without food. Our ancestors did it all the time. I did it. Matter of fact, I might have been doing this show when I was thin, and everybody kept saying, "Oh, you're so skinny." No, fool. It's just you are fat. That's the problem. Don't tell me I'm skinny. I'm exceptional. You are losing right now. You need to get your ish together. And that was my attitude, because I knew what it took to get there. Like, I know if I'm going to drink wine, then I have to eat a small meal, because the wine has so many calories, so I can't get down like I want to. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to make those choices. Those make you better people. When I was heavy, I was broker. Now that I'm not carrying that extra 30 pounds, my energy's through the roof. And you look better, and people will do business with you if you look presentable. Now, until you get to that point, just be clean. I saw the biggest girl. She wasn't the biggest, but she was a big girl in a red dress and some heels. And I watched every dude watch her walk to the door. I said, that girl is killing it right now. You know what I'm saying? And she was a big girl, but she looked the part. She was clean, heels and a red dress or something, and it was clean. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what, though? I think a lot of people don't understand that. I'm one of those people. I like to be clean. I don't like gaudy, a whole bunch of stuff and jewelry and nails. And that's just me. I like the classic and the clean look. But let me ask you a couple of things. And yeah, Walter is a December baby. CJ, you were asking what month was he born? December.
December 1st. I'm everything you think I am.
Right. And then some. And Thunder, he says, with the possible recession looming, would you put extra money would you put extra money for a good return, or do you understand?
Oh, yes. Hell yes. This is the best time to make money. I hope the economy hit the floor. This is the best time during the recession, and the depression and recessions is when people make the most money. It's when people do the best, because right now the economy is getting tougher and the world is going crazy. You know what everyone's talking about? Donald Trump, Elon Musk, this, that. They're talking about all these things that have nothing to do with their income potential. So the people that are focusing on, okay, the real estate starting to slow down, or the stock market's so volatile, you can get in and make money. Man, with $1,000, you can get in and play the stock option game. I have a strategy now that I'm using with $1,000. It'll pay you $500 every day with $1,000. $500 every day on $1,000. It's a stock option spread. It's money all day. It's mind blowing to me. And I'm gonna give you some stuff to watch and give you some YouTube channels to watch, and you can watch this stuff. I'm telling you, it's money out there. Like, I spent probably the last 20 or 30 hours awake just learning these stock option strategies, and I'm like, I can do it. And it's not even complicated. It's understanding, taking some time, and just going, you know what? This is complicated, but I'm gonna get it. I woke up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this morning, and I have my notes from when I was listening to these nerdy dudes talk about stock options. And they're sitting in a room, and the guy goes, that guy made $22 million last year. He made $1 million. This guy drove Uber 3 years ago. He's got $2 million saved. It's just stopping, But when the economy is rough, that's when markets move and you make money in volatility short term. Long term, if you're investing in something, I don't care what it is, when things are crashing and you're putting money in it, sooner or later they will go up. So let's say, I don't know, let's say you want, I don't even know, let's say you want this phone, and this phone is $100, and all you have is $100 a month. So every month you buy one phone, and then next month the economy crashes and this phone is $50. You know what most people do? They sell the phones they bought at 100 at 50 so they can make ends meet. Instead of cutting everything and being lean and mean, they do that. Versus if you buy 2 of these phones 1 month, 2 of these phones another month, 2 of these phones in another month, do you realize you have 6 phones in 3 months? And when phones go back up in value to 100, now the phones you bought at 50 are 100. So the 300 you bought for 6 phones, now you have $600. That's how people make money in this market. They do it in real estate, stocks, bonds. Facebook is getting crushed. Tesla stock is in the floor. And I know a lot of people think they're doing it. Protests ain't driving his stock down. And Elon is not stupid. People think, oh, I'm smashing the Tesla. I'm hurting Elon. Elon is worth $300-400 million. I promise you, if his net worth went to $1 billion, he still ain't gonna have no job. And so I tell people, worry about your family. What are you guys talking about? And one of the things my family people, give me a hard time with is because they always say, oh, here come the money, man. All he want to do is talk about money. And it's funny because we do it over dinners, lunches, trips. So I'm like, and you were there when I sold my car. I'm like, dude, if I'm driving something and you got equity, I will sell it and Uber back, which is what I did that night. I came to see Christopher's daughter. That's just, you have to be like that. It's going to get rough. And now you have the crappy economy. And then you have all these, and I'm going to touch on it. I don't want to stay here. All these racial things popping up, all these wars, all these conflicts are starting to pop up in the media again. And it's diverting people's attention. Now they're going over there. And I'm not saying you don't have to pay attention to it, but do not take your eye off the ball. And that's what people, I feel like, are doing. Like one of my boys was like, yo, man, you heard what's going on? I was like, no. All I know is that Donald J. Trump DGT stock is trading about $20. And I can, instead of paying 20, I can buy a deep in the money call option for $9 and sell a $2 call for 30 days. That means I spend $9 and I sell a call and they give me $2 for a month. For 12 months, that's $24 on the $9 investment. I'm going to say it slower. And this is a grandma strategy. This is what, when I was American Express, we use this for the old ladies. They would buy a stock. Oh, I love Disney. Cool. Own 100 of them and sell covered calls against them. Let people rent your stock in case it goes up. They get it at a higher price, but you'll get the income. It's like owning a house, living in the house, but also renting out the garage. It's easy to do. If you go to YouTube and you type in SMB trading, it's a couple white dudes, they look a little chill, and type in covered calls and type in poor man covered calls. Covered calls and poor man covered calls. Go to SMB University. If you type in covered calls, there's a lot of people talking about stock options, and it's basic stuff. Like there's basic level 1 stuff that anybody can use. Anybody that opens a brokerage account, they'll let you do this. It's the safest way to buy stocks. It's even safer than owning stocks, because if I buy, and the only reason I'm talking about Donald J. Trump right now, because his stock is paying, man, for $20 for 30, is a $20 stock. For $2, somebody will pay you $2 for the right to buy his stock at like 20, 21, $22 in the next 30 days. If the stock doesn't hit there, if it stays alone, stays here, you keep the $2. If it goes over $22, you make the $20 to 22. You make that 2 plus the 2 you got from the stock option. You make $4 on the deal in 1 month on a $20 stock. I'm like, that's 20% on your money in 1 month. That's bananas to me. And I try and explain this to my friends, and they look at me. You know what it is? Oh, man, Dude, what do you mean you ain't got time? What else are you doing? There's nothing else to do but worry about your family. So right now, there's a strategy, and I'm not going to give it to you because I don't want to, I'm not a financial planner, but actually I am, but I'm not a stockbroker. With a $570 trade, you can put a trade in place, a stock option trade that will pay you $450, almost 100% on your money. And it's one day. So they have this thing, it's called zero DTE, zero, which date to expiration. If you buy a stock option or sell a stock option, the day it expires in the morning, they call them 0 days because it expires that day. Do you know there are people making millions of dollars a year buying and selling stock options that expire same day? What's that? So I'm using E-Trade right now. I just opened up a Robinhood account, but SMB has some of these stock options. When you watch YouTube, they have their own platforms. So right now I'm looking for a new broker so I can really get down and dirty with these options. So E-Trade is cool. It's just not as sophisticated as some of the other things, but E-Trade is a good place to get a start because when you buy stock options, the calls are on this side and the puts are on this side. So if you're on a computer screen, you can see them at the same time. And so there's things called spreads that you can do with very little money, and it's a lot of money. I mean, if you're okay making an extra $200 or $300 a day, and you have $1,000 to your name, you can beg, borrow, steal, and you have 2 or 3 hours a day to work on it, and 4 to 5 hours a day for the next week to just get good at it and become a sicko, a wacko, you're straight. Because when I realized I can make $500 a day on $1,000 trade, $1,000 in the accounts, I said, dude, there's no way. I'm going back. I'm thinking about shutting down my car business because I don't make $500 every day. Well, maybe I do, but you get the point. I'm dealing with the public and the wackos, and I'm going checking the oil and talking to people. Man, I could be sitting here in the drawers because I have some on. I have to have them on because I won't have pants on early in the morning. Sitting here in my drawers, on like watching the market. What's Jerome Powell doing today? I guess they lowered interest rates. You know what I'm saying? Or the lowering rates. There's a lot going on. We're getting ready in the war in Ukraine, and there's a lot of things happening. Where is the money for you? Like, there's something you could trade. If you write this down, it's the XPX. It's the S&P 500. It's the most traded index in the world. And you can do it with Schwab too. The XPX, it's the most traded index in the world. Because it's so heavily traded, there's so much liquidity, which means you can get in and out. And the more liquid a stock, the more money there is to be made. So I'm doing that right now. Hot and heavy. I'm going to mute my mic for 1 sec. There you go. Okay, I'm back. So right now, that's what I'm doing. Is I'm using the stock options. So I tend to get up early, 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'm just doing the wacko stuff. I'm not going to do that long term, but I'm engaged right now. I'm a wacko. Like, I went to bed at like 9 o'clock and woke up at 1 and was just watching these channels, YouTube, watching these dudes. This dude that makes 20 million is telling you what he does every day to make millions of dollars. He goes, I started with $1,000. And I was like, dude, stop lying. Sure enough. And no, I don't have no African stocks. Honestly, I ain't messing with no African stocks. Africa had this shit. Their finances are a mess. I'm talking stock market stuff. And I don't care if they're Black, Puerto Rican, and Haitian. I invest in places. You guys, America is the best place to invest. You want to help Africa? Make some U.S. money and go to Africa and give them that money. Because you ain't going to make no money buying no African stocks. That's the problem with some of those countries that are still up and coming. And it's weird to say Africa's still up and coming. I know a lot of Africa's together, but as a whole, and there's resources, and I don't understand enough about that country, but make your money here because those Africans come here. They come here and get the money. Do you know how many Africans, Nigerians I see making money? I see Africans walking along the beach all the time, all slow. Hey, how you doing? Hey. Unless they see me with my girl that look white and then they look at me funny. But they stacking money. They doing it over here. So y'all need to cut that stuff out. We go to Africa and buy. No, you don't, because the Africans with money are coming here to buy. They're not even talking that stuff. Stay here, get the money. You know what I'm saying? So EFT, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like you know more about it than I do. If that's something you're trading, do the research on it, YouTube it, watch it, put it on your watch list, and just follow it every day. Like me, I follow the VIX, VIX. It's a volatility index. It gears the fear sentiment of the market, and it trades against the S&P 500. So if the S&P is up, the VIX is normally down. If the S&P is down, the VIX is normally up. So if I wake up and the S&P futures are down 1%, I know the VIX is going up. And it's an easy way to do it. You see what I'm saying? So it's a fast way to go about it. So you can trade the SPX and the VIX. And that's what I'm trading right now.
And my what do you suggest for Carrie? She says, I know nothing about stocks. And I would say get familiar because, yeah. It says, but I got $1,000 to invest.
Like I just said, go to YouTube, type in covered calls and poor man's covered calls. Look up UMB, SMB trading. You'll see a white dude come up. You have a collar shirt on. He'll be sitting there calm. And man, they are breaking it down. And he hops right on the screen and he tells you exactly what to do. And they have a free course. And man, because what happens too, when you start Googling stock options and things like that on YouTube, it will change the algorithm and start sending you more of that stuff. Like if you look, I was looking at all the YouTube subscriptions that I have, and they're all stock trading, health and wellness, weight loss, mental toughness. It's all I can do better. That's it. So versus like some of my guests, I come, because you can see my guests in the background. And it's Boomerang TV and nigga and nigga this. I'm just like, what in the world? I told the girl yesterday, dude, don't mess with my YouTube algorithms. Don't mess with my YouTube. Don't do it. Create your own account because they're Airbnb-ing it here. The people you see walking through here, they smell like weed, and they Airbnb my house because they're looking for a place to live. But
they just left.
They just left.
Oh,
okay. That's why I muted my mic, because they had a 3-year-old. He's making noise, and I'm like, I'm talking to her. She makes $40 an hour, $33 an hour plus tip, and she Uber Eats, and her man's waiting on a rap career, so he's not working, and he's getting himself right mentally. So she's working 2 jobs. White girl supporting a black man. I know you love that. And I told her, I said, man, that's nuts to me. I said, he's smoking weed, and him and his friends are playing video games so he can get his shit together mentally, and you working 2 jobs? I said, girl, you better be glad I don't date white women. I would be pouring coconut oil everywhere and pouring you a glass of wine if I was that dude. He left the door wide open. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I turn my screen on, you see Nikes on the floor. They got more shoes than I do, and they live in my house. You know what I'm saying? So people say, oh, times are tough. No, they ain't. Oh, my mom got sick and my uncle got sick. What's that got to do with you? Zero. You know what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with it. The only thing that matters is money. Period. I don't care. Money helps you take care of your kids and your family. I had lunch with a girl today, and she said the dude's paying no child support. You know what I'm saying? So if you focus on the money, everything else will fall into place. Somebody talking about OnlyFans. Hey, if I could do it, get away with it, if I had the body, I'll do it. I don't care what you do. Just get the money and stack it away. That's all. Only thing that matters is money. And if you get to that point, everything else will fall off. Period. Churches, everybody needs cash. So that's one thing I would do. Go to YouTube, go to Cover Calls, and go to SMB Trading. Cover Calls, poor man cover calls, go to SMB Trading, and then YouTube will take you to other channels that you can follow. Do that. Spending 10, 20, 30 hours over the next 2 weeks, and just do that. And stocks are from $1 to 1,000. It just depends. That part you got to do. Right? But pick something that you know, something you see all the time, like Target, Walmart, Costco, Ford, whatever. Donald J. Trump, I'm using his stock because he's in the media. For the next 4 years, he is going to be up and down and turning the earth upside down. And fortunately, he's got a following, and I'm just making money on his stock. I don't care what you say about Donald Trump. Deep down, yeah, he's a cruddy old man. But his stock is paying 24, 25% a year. And if you do what I told you, the poor man's covered call, where instead of buying the stock at $20, you go and buy a deep in the money covered call that lets you control the stock for 6 to 8 months, and you can sell $2 calls against it. Now you're making 200% on your money. So that is just one way. Another thing I would do in the economy while suffering, if you have bills and you're barely paying them and you think they're going to go delinquent one day, do it right now. Do it right now. Man, my sister tell you, I have no problem telling my credit card companies, you know what? I need to get my stuff together. I'm going to see you in about 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? When I sold my cars, I was like, hey, I'm over it. I got rid of everything. I had to cut it off. If you have a car payment right now and you're watching this channel, I need you to go, I bought this car for $30,000 a year ago. It's worth $20,000, and next year it's going to be worth $12,000. At what point do you cut the loss? Sometimes it's better to walk away from your car payment and owe them an extra $5,000, and then get back on your feet and save that car note money every month. What some people pay on a car $1,000 a month, they could take that $1,000 a month and get good at stock options and make $200, $300, $400 a day. Make your car payment in 2 or 3 days with that same old $1,000 car payment. One time, I see caps on there. Oh, I use $1,000 and every day I make $200, $300, and that's it. And this is how I pay my bills. And so those opportunities are there, but you have to cut the fat and you have to start putting your focus somewhere else. And then when it comes to real estate, some of you guys own houses, which is a beautiful thing. You got to own something. But if you have equity in your home right now, I would really consider using that, taking that out to buy something else. Maybe buy something else that will produce an income, another small duplex or something, a piece of land that you can park something on, and then you could, I don't know, a piece of land you could rent out to people that RV. Do you realize if you have a piece of land with a water hookup that you can plug an RV up, and sometimes people will pay you $30, $50 a day to park their RV there and use your water. You need water in a septic tank. And you have, because they can do solar panels, and a lot of them have generators themselves. With a piece of land, you could do that. And some of you live in Louisiana or Houston, where there's land everywhere. Especially if you live in Houston down to 95. Man, I drove from Dallas to Houston one day. I was like, man, I wish there was somewhere we could pull over and sleep. You know what I'm saying? And I want to pay $100, $150 for a hotel. But if I was in my RV or my van, I could just roll up and plug in and just chill for a minute. I'll be down with that. So, or some of you have family members that own houses. Your mother, your father, they own houses, and they think they're going to leave it to you. You need to have that conversation with them. Hey, mom, you own this house, it's paid off. Let's talk about what we can do with this money while you're alive. There's reverse mortgages, there's equity lines. Some people are selling their homes and downsizing and taking that money and investing in other things. There's a lot of stuff you could do. Like I said, my bedroom is rented. Right now, somebody is paying me $50 a day through Airbnb. That's $50 I get to keep. I don't like them in my house, but I'm not really here that much to care. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's uncomfortable. People say, well, how can you let people be in your house? It's easy. They're paying my rent. I'm in their house. So, and I just really got over a lot of those. I got to have this lifestyle. I just need to have a good life. And I need to make sure my kids are taken care of. That's it. So it depends on you. Reverse mortgages are the business. They were created for upper middle class people, and poor people got a hold of reverse mortgages and gave them a bad name. Just like they did with the negative AM loan, destroyed a perfectly good loan. But reverse mortgages are the best because I'm 65. I'm not, but let's say I am. My house is paid off, and based on current interest rates, they'll give me about 30 to 40% of my equity. They'll give it to me. So, and there's a lot of things you could do with those loans that are pretty crafty. One, so they'll say, my house is worth $500,000. And the bank's going to give me 200,000. That 200, and then on a reverse mortgage, if you have a mortgage payment, it goes away. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is actually pretty cool. So give me 10 seconds. Hold on.
Absolutely. CJ, you crazy. Talk about that timer went off, but it seems like he's just getting started. No, the hell he ain't. We getting out of here in 10 minutes. Or 9 as we speak. Hey, Queen Adaya, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So I hope for those of y'all who are on here, you're learning something, taking some notes. I know me personally, I need to get back into the stock market and all those things. I don't want to say I've been too busy, but I have some time where I can learn how to or relearn how to do it, because people are making a lot of money with the stock market.
And that's just one avenue. There's a lot of avenues. I mean, it's funny where I was the lunch appointment I had. I got gas and I was on the phone talking about my candle prices. She goes, "Do you mind when you hang up? Like, can I talk?" So she was like, "Yeah." She goes, "I have my own candle company too." And I was like, "Oh." She goes, "So do you mind? Can we have lunch? And can we like talk about this?" I was like, "Do you want to have lunch, business lunch, or you trying to have lunch?" She goes, "No." I'm serious. So I agreed to meet with her, and she goes, "I have a candle company, and I'm doing all these things and rocks and all these things in my candle." She goes, "How are you doing?" I said, "Man, I got this from Candle Science. I got these lids. I mean these labels from Candle Science. I got these jars. I mean these stickers from Alibaba from China, and I got this wax from California Candle Company, and in the scented oils. I said it cost me $5 to make this candle, and I sell them for 15 to 20 bucks. So I go, so really, if I just focus on that or something like that, I won't really need a job, because she's saying her boss, I'm working this job, they're only paying me. She said she's only making, she's only making $28 an hour or something like that. She runs a gas station and she runs it. And I said, so instead of asking your boss for a raise to get you to 32, but then you're a hostage there, I said, what is that, $4 an hour? You need to sell one of these every 2 hours. Can you do that? She's like, damn. She goes, I just needed someone to slow it down and break it down to me. So if there's something you're good at, just get good at that. And then you could do that. I don't care. When I tell people I sell candles, they look at me funny, like, oh, he's gay and he's driving around in a convertible Mini Cooper on top of that with candles in the back. I would prefer that women think I'm gay. That makes my job easier. So, and it's funny, me and my buddy went out. We're all suited up, and it was an influencer thing with adult models, but it was for our coconut candle. And most of the girls were like, oh, we thought you guys were gay. I said, why? She goes, because you were just all business. I said, well, that's unusual. Wow. Okay. Then that's who I am then. I can't even get the money. So it doesn't matter if it's this. Some of you guys are funny or really witty. Take some of your slogans, put them on a t-shirt with GoDaddy and Shopify, and start your a t-shirt line. You could do that, right? And there's a lot. Believe it or not, you guys, there's still a lot of people hiring. They're not hiring for the big jobs, but there's a lot of people still hiring. You know what the problem is? A lot of people are looking for hustlers that can help get the business off the ground. They don't maybe have the money to pay you like $40 an hour, but they have the money to start a business and split $100 an hour with you. But a lot of people won't get in the grind and help them get the business going so they can then split the money. If you know somebody that's running a business and has an idea, help them run it. Say, hey, give me a piece of the pie, put it on paper, change the corporate docs, give me 30%, and I'm going to help you get this going. So I don't know a lot about retro clothes. I heard people
When I
talk
go
about
to the
that.
thrift store, and I haven't been in a long time, that's what I see there. People that get there first thing in the morning when they open up, especially when they have their new, I guess, items, if you will, new, not new. And they get in there and they go snatch up all the vintage things or the things they know that'll sell, and they resell those things for much higher price. I like going to the thrift store because I'll find things. I always find something that's, very unique. I went and found a nice jacket, a floor length gray flannel jacket with a hood, really nice. Sure, it was expensive when it was new. For $12, took it to the cleaners, and now I have a coat, and and other things. But I do see people there. They do that. They resell that stuff, and you'll be surprised what people pay for vintage items or things that are nice.
And you could probably sell that coat for $100 all day on eBay.
Easily. I'm telling you, I've taken a picture of it before. It is floor length. It is a nice, heavy flannel coat, the bomb. And I just was, looking through stuff, and there it was. I was like, what? Nobody picked this up?
Take a picture of it, put it on the internet for $250. And if you sell it, you could go back to the thrift store, or you can go to Zara and buy you a nice coat for $80, and you keep the 130 or the 140 or whatever the difference is. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can do those things, and you can teach your kids to do it. A lot of people don't like to teach your kids this stuff because they're like, oh, my kids, they just don't get it. Well, damn it, they need to get it. They have to get it. You mean some of our kids, if the world collapsed and we died, they would be struggling. I mean, I have 6 kids, and I worry about my kids. Lord, I'd be like, dang, something happened to me. Help me, Jesus. So I worry about them. And a good parent would. If you're not here, what do they do? So it's good to teach those things. Like my son, Evan, is the smartest kid, like one of the smartest kids you ever meet. And this morning at 2 a.m., I sent him these 2 stock option videos. Like, dude, this is it. Next time we talk, let's work on this. Everyone's like, oh, just nah, My job as a father is to teach him how to fish. Period. I'm gonna let the women hold his hand and hum singing all that swing low stuff to him. I'm gonna take care of the money and teach him how to take care of his family. I'm gonna teach him how to cut the grass and sell it to the neighbors as flowers. You know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things you have to do. And you want to keep life, bring your stress down. Bring your kids in when you're working. I give my father credit for showing me how to wake up and hunt. Man, you take your 5-year-old now and you wake him up at 6 o'clock in the morning, take him to office, CPS will be at your house. And that is the problem. Our kids need to work. You have good credit, put your kids on your credit cards. Put them on there. Build your kids' credit so when they get 18 and 20, they can go out and start and get lines of credit, and they can help you with your business idea. Because some of us destroy our credit trying to survive with our kids. But now that your kids have been protected, they can swing around and they could then help you grow the wealth. That's what a lot of other, you want to switch to the color theme again. That's what a lot of other racist cultures, they do. They make their kids go to work. Man, do you know what I'm talking about? Down Mission Boulevard, Riverside, get off the 60, get off Valley, and you go left down Mission. Man, all you see is Mexicans and their little kids working. And I'm talking 6, 7, working the taco stand, handing people sodas, collecting money. You know who you don't see doing that? Us. And I know we can.
Well, out in Houston, I have seen us do those things, but it's because it's probably a larger Black population. But I have seen us out there with our children selling water and snacks and different things like that.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, when I went to Houston, I see more of that. I mean, the barbecue man outside of the auction is off the hook. a brother too. I said, man, I don't care how good it tastes. I'm just trying to support us. Man, I don't even like barbecue. It's horrible for you, but that was off the hook. So if you do some of these things, financially things will get easier. And then, of course, I'm a harp this. You got to get life insurance. You got to protect your family. That's it. I remind my kids all the time, if I die, you got $2 million. Here's what I need you to do with it. And every time we get together, I said, this may be the last time you ever see me. I'm in the car all the time. I'm working. I'm dealing with your mama. No, I'm just playing.
Well, that's rather morbid.
Huh?
I said, that's rather morbid.
Well, so here's the way I do it, though. Like we went to a brewery, all of us, and I said, listen, I want you guys to really be thinking about your future. I said, I'm not going to always be here, but here's something happens to me. Here's what I want you to do with the money. It's multiple unit real estate, learn these stock options, buy a piece of land, buy something that produces an income, and start something, buy low, sell high, and surround yourself with people that can do the same. That's really it. All that other stuff.
And you know what? People be sleeping on collecting cans, but collecting cans, my daughter's father, he used to do that. They get up every morning and go to different neighborhoods, where they have recycling and stuff, make $300 to $400 a day. Just making it a business, just going to collect cans and stuff. And this was back in the day.
Yeah, in Orange County, there's an Asian lady that comes by every Monday morning when the trash comes, and she digs all the cans out of the trash. Every Monday, you hear digging in the trash. She got her little gloves on, her little basket. She fills it up. She disappears, and you see her on the next street. You know what I'm saying? So that's extra. I don't know how much money you make collecting cans, but I'm assuming that there's some money. So whatever it is, some of you guys are 10, 15, 20 bucks a day from changing your life. Don't tell me you can't make 20 bucks a day doing something, but we have to turn off what we're watching. Some of the stuff, to me, I call it, I ain't gonna tell you what I call it, but to me, the WB, those channels.
I know you don't watch TV because you called it Tubi and it's Tubi.
Tubi, what? See, I don't watch it, but Tubi.
I don't either.
Every time Tubi pops up on my screen, it's Black people going bad, surviving R. Kelly, surviving P. Diddy, help Wendy Williams. It's surviving Neverland. It's always some destructive Black people stuff. I can do bad by myself, or the diary of an angry Black Negro. It's never nothing positive like, hey, how we built wealth as a family. It ain't never that. So I don't watch those. I don't watch those things. And my YouTube feed, if it ain't music or something I can learn from, I don't watch it. I can tell what type of person you are by the YouTube TV you watch. And it's okay to sometimes watch, Negro Damas TV. Yeah, once in a while it's cool. I love watching Madea. Yeah, he's in a dress, and I'm not gonna get into that whole issue, but I watch Madea. When I'm just down in the dumps, I'll turn on Madea and watch it. It's just hilarious to me. So this, even if you just start listening, even if you don't understand it, I guarantee you, most of you, when you start watching the videos on covered calls and the poor man's covered calls, you're not going to understand it at first. But after watching the video 20 or 30 times, or spending 2 or 3 hours watching it for a week in advance, you'll go, you know what? I get it. And like this morning at 1 a.m., it hit me. Boom, I get it. And I've been watching for weeks. And this morning, I got it. I go, oh, I got it. So today, I made my first trade against the S&P, the spiders. I think it was because what happens is when you buy and sell options, like when you watch S&P Capital, they'll teach you how to do, like, there's a video that says what to do with $1,000, or what to do if you have little money, or 3 strategies to do for little accounts. They're talking about taking $570 and using it to make $480 or $450. $500. That's what these dudes who make millions of dollars are educating you how to take $500 to $1,000 and make $200, $300, $400 every single day. Do not tell me You can't come up with $500 and spend a couple weeks, hours a day learning this stuff that is on there for free. You gonna get to tell me, oh, I don't, no one ever told me, fool. Nobody ever told me either. No one ever told me, go. I just did it. So you could do it. I'm telling you, man, if you watching this show and you do what I say, in 2 weeks, give it a couple hours every day. Put it in the background. Hey, kids, tonight, we're not watching Negro Adamas TV. No more Toomey or Tubi or whatever you call it. We're going to watch these dudes talk about paying our mortgage next month. And everybody going to watch. So the information is out there. And this is the best economy for it. I'm so happy Donald Trump won. One, because of the conservative. Two, I knew he was going to turn this place upside down. And he's going to be dropping bombs. It's going to be a hot mess for the next 4 years. Hallelujah. We need this because
not that because he's dropping bombs, though.
No, not bombs. When I mean bombs, I mean he's no.
I know what you meant, but some people might.
Actually, Donald Trump is the only president that hasn't dropped bombs.
Well, they did not too long ago.
You know what I'm saying? He's not. Anyways, let's not get into that.
Right.
I'm just, when I say drop bombs, I mean he's dropping bombs on the economy.
Got you.
I'm raising tariffs to 2,000,000% on China, and the stock market takes a dive. And I go in and buy the VIX when the S&P is crashing. And when he wakes up tomorrow and says, okay, all right, I changed my mind. The VIX goes up and I sell it and I take that $300 or $400 and I put it in my bank. That's what I mean by dropping bombs on the economy. I hope Donald Trump wakes up in the morning butt naked at the podium. Man, the S&P will dive so fast. The SPX stock index will dive so fast. Then when he puts his clothes on, it will come back up. And if you bought when he was naked, you're going to make money. When we had the pandemic, stocks went so low, man. That's how I bought my property in the desert from those stock options from the pandemic. You was there. We were all doing it. I think Amanda, she bought a bunch of Tesla stock. I mean, like.
Yeah, she's not happy about that right now.
Well, but she bought it for a penny. I mean, she's still up. And they did a 5-to-1 split. She got 10 shares up from 2. She all right. So, but the point I'm making, a lot of people that weren't buying stocks bought stocks because we were doing the show with Gary and the stock option class. And a lot of people started buying stocks and doing real estate moves. So if we could do it with this little channel, imagine if people, when Al Sharpton came on, they turned him off. When bald-headed Simone Biles or Sanders, whatever the bald-headed chick that be bent over with the hunchback hands, whenever she come on TV or Fox, or they come on start talking that crap, just turn them off and go to Bloomberg, CNBC. Bloomberg is 24 hours. CNBC is on all day. Shark Tank comes on, which is a phenomenal show. Yahoo Finance and YouTube and Yahoo are free. And if you go to the internet, how to watch CNBC for free, go to livenews.com and you can watch MSNBC. You can watch, not MSNBC, don't watch that. CNBC for free. And just watch it. And I remember when I was watching all the tickers and the stocks, I didn't understand it. I was like, this is not going to work for me. And now I can watch the stock market tickers and 400 pieces of news at one time, and I understand all of it. It's like being reading the Matrix. And for Black people, unfortunately, that stuff is the Matrix because we got our spiritual leaders and our Al Sharptons and these silly Negroes telling us what to do. Get your Black behind out of Costco, fool. Take that money to Roger and him and his wife Juanita. I need the money. If you really want to help Black people, take your behind to one of those little Black-owned stores. But no, ain't no camera showing up over there. So, I mean, remember when JP Morgan Chase was down in the dumps? Man, Chase was on the bottom. Lord, that makes me mad thinking about that. Anyways, I made some money from Chase. But that's happening right now. Even Facebook is down from 750 to 500 something. And Facebook was $100 during the pandemic. Remember that? They were 100. Amazon was under $100. I don't know where Amazon is right now. I stopped trading it when it got up, when it, wants to start moving. But they are coming back down.
And we are about to leave.
Yeah, no, we can wrap it up. So next time I talk to you guys in 2 weeks, I want to see in the comment sections who followed SMB trading on YouTube and who followed the cover calls and the poor man's cover calls.
I got it all written down here.
Do that. Just make that your mission. We talk in 2 weeks, then we can get into more detailed conversation because I'm really excited. I think that's going to be big money for us.
Indeed.
So yeah, let's get this money, folks.
Let's get this money. Where's Mike at? We need a slogan. He be having a slogan for everything. Let's get this money. So anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Thank you, Walter, so much for coming on here. If not next week, the week after, Walter, we're probably going to get him about every 2 weeks because Walter's a busy man. But nevertheless, I am going to be doing the SMB the YouTube channel, see what they're talking about in regards to the poor man covered calls. See if I can get into it. Numbers aren't really my thing, so I'm going to do my best to try to ascertain it. But in the meantime, y'all, we love and appreciate you. In Facts Not Feelings, you say you will hear from me about the PMCC poor man's covered calls. Yes, indeed. So let's see what we do. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see y'all. I might come back here tomorrow or Friday. I have a little bit of downtime, so y'all might see me. What we'll talk about, I don't know, but it'll be interesting. Peace.